If you want to become a better trader, then you need to journal. In this video, I'm going to show you how to journal your trades to improve as a trader. The reason why we journal is so that we can store data, but it's not just about tracking the numbers. It's also about tracking your emotions. Because when you journal and you write down your emotions, you're able to see, why did I close this trade early? How was I feeling? Should I have let this position run for that long? Was I feeling greedy? That's why it's important to journal everything, because then you have data that you can track and you can see how to improve as a trader. So let me show you exactly how to journal. And the journal I'm referring to is Edgewonk. You obviously have to pay for the software. Let me first teach you how to add a journal. So obviously I have my journals here, but for this video, I'm going to show you how to start your own one. So you click on add journal, and then here you'd write journal name. So here we would write YouTube day trade, for example. Then you'd pick your account currency. So let's say our currency is euros, and you can pick which markets. So I'll just say Forex. How much money did you initially deposit into your account? So I'm just going to put 100,000. I don't have 100,000. I'm just using that as an example. And you can say deposit date. You can put either, today's the 3rd of November. So you could put that if that's when you're going to start to log, or you can also backlog. So if you had somewhere where you were journaling and you want to put your data in, then you could put it in. So let's say, for example, maybe you've got data from 2024. So you can say January 2024, 1st of January 2024, you deposited 100,000, and then you'd say create journal. Now you come to this nice interface and you can see there's a whole lot of complicated things here, and it tells you your net return, your win rate, your average P&L, profit factor, and then here's Edgewonk score. So it takes your sample size, your profit factor, and your return to drawdown, and obviously you want to try and get to the green. And then you can see here, it gives you the total number of trades that you've tracked, biggest winner, biggest loser, win rate without break even, because the win rate over here includes your break evens, your ROI, max drawdown, winning to losing days, trades per day a week, current streak. And you can also see performance by instrument, performance by weekday, and performance by setup if you've got a lot of setups, and even performance by hour. So this will help you because maybe you might see that you take trades at 10 a.m. and they all lose. So maybe it might tell you, okay, but at 9 when you take the trade, you win a lot more. So that means that with this data, you can now adjust your trading plan a little bit so that you can maximize your profits. Let me give you an example of how to journal. So let's say today I want to journal. So I would click on add new trade. And then now I would put the entry date and I will put the time. So let's say I took the trade today, 24th of November. And let's say the time I took it, let's say I took it at 10 a.m. So here you can write 10 a.m. And then you can write the instrument. So let's say we took a Euro USD. So you type Euro USD, you'd click here. Then you would click on setup. Right now I don't have any setup. So let's say I add one and let's call it the YouTube setup. And let's say we did a long. And then here you'd put the entry price, the exit date. So let's say entry price, let's say 1.1. And let's say that I exited the trade same day, and let's say I exited at 1840. Then quantity, I usually just leave. Exit price, let's say I exited the trade at 1.2, and then you'd put your stop loss. So let's say my stop loss was 1.00, and let's say that my take profit was my exit price 1.2. You can write your gross P&L, or you can put the fees. So let's say that there was a $100 fee, and you can say that my P&L was, obviously don't try and be clever with me with the funny maths here and tell me, no, that's not what it would be. I'm just throwing random things. And then you can see that your net P&L would be 1,900. And then here you can write your personal notes. So you can say, I was feeling very anxious when price started to retrace. And you can just write a whole bunch of stuff. So you could say, but I stuck to my plan and it worked out. So what's nice about this is you can write down how you're feeling in the trade. And then whenever you're in a trade, you can always just look at your journal and you can see, okay, I felt scared the other day and right now I want to close this. But when I was feeling scared and I did nothing, look, I won. So you can see that the person that's getting in the way, if you're closing, it's you. It's not intuition, because some people might say, oh, it was my gut feeling that I should close it. But for a lot of people, what is your gut feeling? Your gut feeling could just be the fact that you don't like to see that price is retracing and you are losing out on your profits, when you could just be a bit patient and you see that the trade would play out. So that's why it's important for you to journal, because you can see, oh, I was scared a lot of the times and I wanted to close, but I didn't. And look what happened because I didn't close. I actually won it. It allows you to be able to ignore those feelings that you have and just be a bit more robotic. And then what's nice is you can also go into advanced data. So you can go and say pre-trade comments. You could say, let's say I broke my rules, entry comments. Let's just say I just broke all my rules. So even though it was a good trade that I took, let's say I broke all my rules. And you can also come here and you can write the highest price that price actually went to and the lowest price. So that will be able to help the system calculate your MAE, which basically tells you you should have entered a bit earlier because price retraced a lot. So that's the kind of data that you can get from the system by putting the highest price, lowest price. Which level did price reach first? You can say take profit, stop loss, or break even. So you can say take profit. And then what's really cool is over here, you can put custom stats. So you could write support on the 4 hour. So that can be like one of your checklists. That's what that trade had. And then maybe you can put here CPI day. Maybe it was a CPI day. So you'd say, okay, CPI. You can also put something like price retraced, for example. It depends what you want to track. And then you can also say COT data favors the trade. So then you can also see if the COT favors this trade. If you look at the COT data and the hedge fund's also long, and you took a long as well and you won, then this could be some sort of a confluence that you add into your trades. If you've got, like, let's say you've taken 100 trades and you see that when the COT favors your trade, then you win more. So then you could add that into your trading plan later. So that's what's nice, is you can add all these different variables that you can track while you journal. And then you can put your screenshots in here. So what you do is you'd go on trading view and then you could paste your URL or image from the keyboard and you could have a whole bunch of stuff here. Then you could go save. And then you can see here, it says 1,900. So you've taken one trade this week, but you can see that it's red. And the reason why it's red, that's your tilt meter. So it means that yes, you made money on the day, but you broke your rules. And then basically what you want is you want your tilt meter to be green, which meant that you did everything that you needed to do, basically. And what's really cool as well, you can see here, advanced journaling. So you can click on advanced journaling and you can actually input the trades that you missed. So you could put missed trades journal, and then you could put the same information that I just showed you, but you can also do it for your missed trades. So you can analyze, I missed this trade. Why did I miss this trade? Maybe I was asleep, or I wasn't paying attention, or I was texting my friend or something. So it allows you to have that data as well, which is really cool. And you can also go into diary and you can go into notebook here and you can create sessions. So you can write a note. So you could write out your trading plan here if you wanted to, trading plan. And it's like a Notion type thing here. So you could have that. You can also create sessions. So for example, let's say today I want to journal this. So instead of, I've got my normal journal that you saw earlier, but maybe you want to create like a little session where all you see is what you wrote. So you could write here in your session, you could say EU, and you could maybe write the date 2011 or whatever. And you could say CPI day, broke rules, or whatever you want to say. And then you could say here, I broke my rules because I was tired from the party last night. And then you could put session category, missed trades, trade management, emotions, discipline. So maybe we'd call it discipline and trade management. And then maybe we rank it a 1. And then you can see here, it gives you the data that you already recorded. And now, then you'd also click here on the start date. So you can create a big session. So you could write from here to here, or you could do day to day. And then you could say save. And then now you've got this piece of data that you can look at, and you can see what you said. So that's really cool too. And then if you go down to Chart Labs, you can see all these pieces of data here. You can see your drawdown. Obviously, because I don't have a lot of trades put into this, you can't really see. What I like is this performance ratio tool. So you need to put 10 trades in, but it will tell you your win rate, your Sharpe ratio, your karma ratio. And yeah, that's really nice that they've got all these things. So if you've got 10 trades, for example, you could do that. You can also have multiple journals. So you can see I have day trades, London day trades, swing trades. So a whole bunch of different journals that you can use. And what's nice as well, so you can come here and you can also put your filters. So let's say I said EU, and let's say that I'm looking for, in the advanced filters, I can go and click on my support 4 hour and see the trades that fulfill that. So that way I can see what are the statistics for my trade when it's based on the support from the 4 hour. And right now you've got 1 win, 0 break even, 0 loss, win rate 100%. So yeah, I really like this software. And that's why it's very important that if you want to improve as a trader, you need to make sure that you're journaling. And if you'd like to get Edgewonk, I will put a link in the description below so you can go and check it out. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next video.